All right, we're live, back in full effect. Dan is in a secret location. Don't even ask where he is. He's somewhere on the island, somewhere we don't know. He's somewhere, but I appreciate him. Chiming in from any location. Anyways, man, the main event. That shit was a scramble fest. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the judges' scorecards, I think all the judges gave the first two rounds to Arman, and then the last three rounds they gave to Gamrot. And I felt like watching that fight, every round was kind of the same round. It was so close. But the difference maker, I think, it was Gamrot had like this second gear later in the fight, while Arman did not have that second gear because I think they were very evenly matched. I mean, in skill set wise, it's just Gamrot just had more in the tank, and I felt like that took over in the last couple of rounds, and that won him that fight. But if Arman would have won the fight, I wouldn't argue. What did you see, Dan, with your eyes?
Yeah, like a lot of their positions just cancelled each other out. That low single where Gamrot kind of goes for the loop swoop and just hits it super low, and then loop swoops that leg super high was cancelled out just with like Arman's ability to keep his balance and just his natural flexibility. That's just like a natural flexibility that 99% of humans just don't have, right? So like 99% of guys, you whip a leg up like that, they're gonna fall over. But yeah, that's something you can't really account for. It's just someone being like just having crazy flexibility and very good balance. But to me, it just looked like the composure, man. Like Gamrot could see how much energy that Arman was like putting into everything, and if he didn't have that 5 round experience, then you can kind of get caught up in it. Like, man, I'm losing these rounds. I'm losing these rounds. But just he stayed so composed. Like he stayed so composed. Like waited for his times to get his shots, and just it's just 5 round experience. That's just Arman's first 5 rounder, and that's Gamrot's had a few in one global defending his title over there in Poland. So that's 5 round experience. Like just really shining through. But razor fight. I don't think you can really argue it either way. Like if it would have gone to Arman, even though I hate him, and it's like sweet to see him lose. I still feel like that fight definitely could have gone either way, and I feel like a lot of fans are gonna feel that way as well. But yeah, 5 round experience, put it in the bank, kid. Learn from it.
Yeah, with this fight, man. While watching it, it's just so high level, man. It was like every week now, it seems like, in the main events. Last week it was Emmett and who did fucking Emmett fight last week? Cater. Yeah, that was so close, high level. You know what I mean? Striking battle. This one was all scrambles and wrestling, and Arman did really well, I think, with the kicks. But it seemed like Gamrot started to time that. You know what I mean? Later in the fight, and started to snatch that leg up and use that. So yeah, it was a fun fight to watch. For some people, I think they didn't like it so much because they wanted to see more of them bang. But
what?
Banging.
Some people don't like that. I thought that was a sick fight. I thought that was a crazy good fight. I thought like the card was like a long card. Mean fights, but I feel like there were some in there that were like a bit stalemate, like the heavyweights are a bit sloppy. Like there's a few I get distracted when it's not like a good fight. I feel like when things are like the Nurmagomedov one, not saying it's like a bad or critiquing it, but like he's just dominant and he's just doing the same thing every round. You know what I mean? Like that's not an exciting fight for me to watch. Just one guy's better in one aspect and just repeats the same process 3 times in a row. That's not entertaining to watch. But that main event just really like capped off it was a long day. That's all from where I'm sitting. It was a long day. It was a long day of fights, but that main event was crazy, man. That main event. But yeah, like it's just my cat's doing some nuts stuff. Get lost, bro. It's just showed. Yeah, it's just everyone's a beast on the come up, right? Like everyone blows people out of the water as they're coming up, but once they get to that top 15, that top 10, and you're starting to the the skill difference just becomes a lot more finite. Then you get pushed to these places, and you really have to show all your cards, you know. And that's a fight that was like. I feel like both fighters showed all their cards, and that's the disadvantage that comes with competing at that level, is that now everyone knows what you're going to do. Now everyone knows their games. You know what I mean? You see them in another 5-rounder, people start to figure it out, right? People start to see the patterns. People start to figure them out, and that's when you have to. The adjustments become a lot more difficult. You know what I mean? At that high level, once everyone knows what you're going to do. But great fight. Definitely hard to score against Arman. Yeah. Gamrot can't strike, brother. That's one thing I know for sure. Man can wrestle. Yeah. But that striking was something else.
Yeah, that spinning, he loves to spin. Like,
Dude,
he spun like a few times every round, and Arman was spinning too. I didn't notice that he likes to spin as well.
Spin the win, brother. Spin the win. Gamrot's one was like, Gamrot's one was like more that he was like kind of just falling off, like falls into something or falls off balance, and he just kind of does it to correct himself. I thought, Arman had head and shoulders an advantage in the striking, and then Gamrot like edged it with a few positions, right? Just that shot, cut the angle, and then take the. Where's my cat? Where's my cat? Freckles.
Freckles.
Hello. Go away, mate.
What were we saying? Oh yeah, Gamrot. I think that was the adjustment, right? Like, he knew in the first 2 rounds that he was getting outstruck. So from the 3rd round on, it was like, all right, let's limit the striking and just get into these scrambles. Because
his entries was what he was realizing that the single just wasn't working. Like, usually he hits that low single or strikes and then picks up the one leg. And he that was the adjustment. I feel like the first 2 rounds, he realized that single leg just wasn't working against Arman. Like, his flexibility and his balance just really wiped it out and cancelled it. So he had to make the adjustment where he shot him for the double leg, but Arman's got like a very good sprawl. So he shot him for the double leg and then cut that angle real quick, and then kind of caused that stalemate, and then was able to get the body lock, then work his way to the back, and then control it. It was a cool body lock. Like, for me watching, like, the placement of it, like, usually guys hang off the back, like around the hips, like they'll lock their hands like low on the hips and control it from there. But obviously, if your grip is down there, it's a lot easier to fight your hands. But I feel like Gamrot's body lock was like right in the small of the waist. Like, he had it like he had a lot higher than most people. He was sagging his weight, but he was controlling it around the waist, like, which made it a lot harder for Arman to get to his hands. If they're a bit lower around the hips, it's a lot easier to fight their hands and break them off. But I felt like Gamrot had that body lock like a little bit higher, and so that was a cool. But that's like another thing, right? Now people know. Like, now people know. Now people know his backup plan. Before, we knew his plan A, right? Like, we saw Gamrot, we know his plan A. We know he's gonna, shoot that low single. We know he's gonna do this. But now we know his plan B. We know his plan C. Like, this is where it becomes like a lot more difficult going forward. You understand?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the more you fight, the more film there is on you, the more tendencies come out, all of that good stuff. And like you said, adjustments. The winner of this fight, they're in a weird position now, even if Arman won. Because if you look at the rankings, Arman is number 11, Gamrot's number 12, right? Like, so they're pretty much in the same position. Flip spots, right?
Well, like, that's the funny thing about the division. Like, generally, you go main event, you win the main event, you go title shot. Like, lightweight, you go main event, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. He called out Justin Gaethje. I'll tell you right now, he ain't gonna take that fight. Like, that is pissing in the wind. Like, that's the funny thing about lightweight. Like, any other division, you get a title shot off a fight like that. Lightweight division, like, no one. You'll struggle to get a top 10 fighter to fight you off a main. Like that's the like funny mix that you're in.
Yeah, if you look at the list of the guys in the top 10, Fiziev, he's fighting RDA. Fiziev's 10, RDA's number 7. Beneil's injured. Chandler, he's only looking to fight the big names, right? Or it's a title fight. So he's definitely
like
not gonna
he might
fight
get
Gamrot.
he might get McGregor. Like he ain't gonna do that.
Like he ain't gonna go fight Gamrot. You know, that's like all risk
For what?
no reward at all. To be
What,
honest.
you know?
Yeah. And then, you know, Islam's probably going to fight for the title next against all of. Is it weird to you that there's no champion at lightweight? Like it's just blank. There's no champion. Is that weird? Or do you consider Charles Oliveira like the champ?
We all know Oliveira's the champ, brother. We all know that was bullshit. Yeah. That was bullshit.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like Charlie Olives either. I don't like any of these guys. Let's just make this clear. I'm not talking shit. I don't like any of them. But he's the champ. Let's get real.
Yeah, he's the champ. He's the champ. Yeah, he's in a funky position, Gamrot, man. Like, I don't know. I guess he has to sit back and see, like, you know, does Fiziev beat RDA or does RDA beat Fiziev? Because that could be a matchup. People are talking about if Brad wins next week.
But what? Like no one's like you. Yeah, what? Like the winner of Fiziev RDA is not gonna fight backwards in the rankings. Like it's weird. Like it's weird that the winner nothing really happens, but then I feel like the loser nothing really happens. Like I don't feel like they're just gonna like switch places and then just wait.
And It is weird because there's no like title fight that's lined up yet. You know what I mean? They're working on some stuff, but there's no title fight lined up yet. You gotta.
But I told you already. Is that like Charles Oliveira in Abu Dhabi? Like, don't. This is always gonna happen.
You're the insider.
Always gonna happen, brother. How much they paid me to get off the couch? They are backing that horse. Trust me. They are backing that horse.
Definitely. And then, we talked about Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier. He's sitting back. He might even just go fight at, welterweight or whatever. So Gamrot, he probably ain't getting none of those names, and which means he's probably gonna have to end up fighting somebody that's closer in the rankings to him, that's behind him, which is like, Brad Riddell. Riddell fights, your teammate fights next week. Someone in the comments was like, if Riddell wins, why not fight Gamrot? They were going to fight, or they were in talks to, compete. So
they had like a couple of dates. They had like a couple of dates booked with each other. It'll be cool, but like even though that's like a mean fight, it's like Brad's that's a feature prelim on a pay-per-view, but like main event, you're coming up a main event win, you don't go forward. That sets a weird precedent. You know what I mean? Like you get a main event win and you don't go forward. You don't even get a higher ranked opponent. Like that precedent is not good.
Well, I think Gamrot, he might have to do one of those solids for the UFC and slide in somewhere where that's what he should be probably doing, is sitting back and saying, all right, there's these matchups ahead of me. If anybody pulls out, I'm going to slide in. That's what he has to do.
That's probably his best bet, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And now Arman has to go back. Did you see the interview in the cage? They interviewed him after the fight, and he was just like baffled. Like he was just like, I
hate that, bro. I can't believe they do the. Was he even hanging around for an interview? I think he was just standing there, like he was just distraught about like losing, and he just run up on him with like a microphone. I understand that, but like, come on, this is like your world has just come crashing down, and then someone's just like, "How do you feel?" It's like, what? That's sad. It's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded.
In Japan, they do it to every fight. Like every fight, the winner and the loser comes back, and they do a full press conference.
Japan's like, but Japan's like, it's different as well. Where like losing doesn't mean isn't like the worst thing in the world. Like losing over there, as long as you show respect and carry ahead and fight well, then a lot of people tip their hat to you, and a lot of people shower you in respect. So then I can understand, because like in Japan, like the highs and lows of winning and losing aren't that different. Like whereas like the way the UFC set it up, like winner gets everything, like loser you suck. Like that's like the culture that they've created with the UFC, and they've created with like MMA Twitter at where it is now, where like winner is God mode, loser should probably retire. Like that's the way that we treat like every fight, you know what I mean? So yeah. that's a bit different. So I can definitely understand where like Japan's coming from. They're not doing it in like a weird way, or like a negative way, or just to see like the agony on someone's voice. You know, they're I feel like they're more respectful as fans, and you get that like when you're over there and you're fighting. Like I fought in Japan a few times. Like you'll defend a takedown or defend like a submission, and the crowd will like acknowledge that. Like the crowd will clap like a grappling exchange. Whereas like you defend a submission in like North America or something, you'll probably still get booed and told to stand it up. But that's just
yeah, but like as someone that sits in like the press conferences, and when I was there, like watching somebody lose and then them come back and their face looks like fucking what's his name from the Goonies?
Yo.
And they're sitting there, face is fucked up, ice pack on half their face, cut, just sewed up, and then they're having an emotional breakdown in front of the whole media, you know what I mean, crying and all of that. And sometimes I'm looking at that and like, fuck, dude, I don't even know if I could do that. That is challenge. That's more challenging than the fight, probably. It's just face the media after losing and just looking like
do that. I want to do that.
Hardcore.
You ain't gonna catch me. You ain't catching me like that. You ain't catching me in tears on camera. You know what I mean? Like you don't catch me like that. I'll do that. You do that when you're by yourself, you know. When you're by yourself, bottle that. Get the bottle all that emotion up.
Yeah, you gotta release it somewhere. You know what I mean? Everybody has different releases, but yeah, it's it is weird. Like why they would want to go interview him. Maybe they wanted a reaction like, "Fuck the judges, fuck everybody." You know, maybe they wanted that reaction. I don't know. It seems like the UFC. You know, whenever they do those post-fight interviews, I think the goal of the post-fight interview is to get clips, to get little, you know. That's what they're doing.
You just figured that out, Bubba. That's the goal. Chael Simon, Uncle Chael is on the money. The goal of your post-fight interview is to get another fight. That's all it is. Like if I was Arman and they come and chuck a microphone to my face and I just lost, I'll call someone out. I'll tell someone I'm going to smash their face. Like I'm going to get another fight. You know what I mean? Anytime you put a mic, like that's what this is. It's the business of fighting. That's it.
I love it. Well, co-main event, Shavkat Ragmanov. You know, last week you said, Dan, like Neil, you know, Neil's a gun, but man, Shavkat went in there and just neutralized everything and dominated that fight, man. And
close fight. I thought Neil almost had him. I feel Neil almost had him with the leg lock. If I'm being honest, I thought Neil almost was about to tear that ACL off, buddy. Shavkat, I tip my hat, brother. I tip my hat. Good work. Little classy round of applause. Good work, lad.
He's a problem,
that's like
right?
It's crazy, and his record is crazy. 16-0, like all finishes, and he's not like he doesn't go out like stupid like berserk. He's just he's a pretty I've trained with Neil. Like I know how good he is. I've seen him in the gym. I've seen him. I've seen him just outwork some of the best guys in the world. So yeah, for Shavkat to go out there and put on a close fight against something like that, against
I love it.
that's my guy. That's my guy.
That was the closest fight on the card. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. That should have went to the judges, right? Like, why did he decide to go for a submission?
I thought Neil thought the round ended. That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was like, rounds ended, bro. Like, stop grabbing
Get
my
off
neck.
me.
Yeah. Like I thought he was just pushing him off, but
stop fucking
whatever,
touching me, you know? Like,
whatever,
the bell
bro.
rang. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, get off me. And then, the fight's over. So, anyway, yeah.
I can see things how I want to see things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We all do. We all kind of go
like
into
this.
certain things. Yeah. Looking like a grandma, just like, the fuck? But,
what did he do?
But what do you think of like Shavkat coming out? And he did a good job. He had a call out at the end of the post-fight interview. He said, "Hey, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson." And I think like that's a good call out because he's a guy who has lots of fame. He's up there in the rankings. He's fought for the title multiple times, and a very fucking great stylistic matchup for Shavkat.
I like that fight. I like that fight. I thought it was a good call out. Could have slipped in a little smash him or something in there. Just say his name, but I'm gonna kill this guy. Like, you don't learn that. That's pretty easy, right? Grow a little beard, say you're gonna kill him, and then watch your Instagram blow up. I don't know where he's missing the boat on this. I don't know where this manager's not in his ear. Just listen to the tape every night before you. I'm gonna smash you. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna smash you. That's all you have to go. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
he'll get the fight.
That's all you need. To be honest, yeah, you're right. That's all you really need is like at the end. You don't even have to like say it right. You just have to say it so people know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna smash this guy.
Smash him.
I'm gonna rip his arms off, his legs off.
Smash him. Anyway, good fight.
Yeah, good fight, man. Bright future. What about you were talking about Umar. He's also undefeated. Is that Habib's brother or cousin? Is it his brother or is it cousin? I have no idea. There's a bunch of them, man. Some of them are not even related. They just have the same name, so I don't know. But anyways, he's a solid prospect. I mean, he went in there and just completely dominated Manis, and Manis.
But like, who? Yeah. Like dominant performance. Just absolutely just did the same thing over and over again. Just press like the repeat button. I don't know, but does he get like ranked off of that? Like, because they just showed the bantamweight rankings after that. Or I saw them on Twitter or something like that. Like, who on earth does he kick out of the rankings? You know what I mean? Like, did a good performance, undefeated. Khabib's second cousin's sister's grandma or something like that. But who does he kick out of the rankings?
Nobody.
Like Yang, because Yang's just got. He just got in the top 15 of his performance last week, but he's just been like knocking people's heads off like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and he just went in at 15. You're gonna kick him out for Umar? It's like, I don't know about that.
No, you do not kick him out for Umar. Yanez what does he have? Like 5 bonuses? He's won every fight, finished all of them except for one.
Just obliterating people like that. That's how you move quick in this game. Like, you move quick.
What do you think makes Yanez special though? Is it the hand speed? Is it the accuracy? Like, is it his composure? Because he seems like from the start,
it takes time, brother. You gotta, but it takes time. Like, he's like we say, he's blowing through guys. But he's like early on in his career. Let's see how he dances. Let's see how he dances under the bright lights. Let's see how he dances in a main event, in a co-main event, against the top 10, against like these are where like really counts. You know what I mean? Like that's where you really make something of yourself.
it's like they're coming to you and saying, hey, you thought that was hard. Now you get to really fight. Now you're going to really fight, like under the bright lights.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers asking you all kinds of bullshit. And then a killer's going to step in against you across the cage. Yeah. So, but I got high hopes for Giannis, man. He seems like he has his head on straight, and it's all good. And your boy, Carlos Arlberg, goes in there. I thought this is my thought heading into the fight. I thought Carlos was going to use his reach, his distance, because he's pretty quick from distance, man. In and out, popping in and out. But, man, that lead left hook, that was beautiful. We haven't seen a lead left hook knock somebody down like that in a while, right?
That's a jab. That was a jab. I'm just telling you right now, that was a change-up jab. Whoa, whipped it around his guard. Ping! Got him. Slapped him with a jab. My boy hits hard. That boy hits hard. And that's not even his cannon. His right hand. Sheesh. If he hits you with that, you're going to die. Stay away from that. I do like when they first come over to MMA, and I've been doing MMA for like a very long time, it's like fun, because you can like get them down and stuff like that. But now I can't get it. It's just a mission. Like I can't get him down. I gotta watch out from getting my nose broken with his right hand. Like it's just, it's a bit of a pest. You know what I mean? Now he comes out. Go away. It's had enough of you, Carlos.
Yeah, the Black Jag is coming out. This is
Black Jag.
This is.
I do like Ladies Night of all his. That's the magical. He's the man with the magical changing. The ever-changing fight name is old Carlos Arlberg. But that was my favorite. He hates it. He hates me in quarter. But like one of the King of the Rings, one of our coaches, Mike Ango, was the commentator for King of the Ring, and he was just calling him, just introducing him every time as Lady Night. Carlos, Ladies Night, Arlberg. And so like that King of the Ring is where that kicked off. But then I think he came up with Black Jag himself because he was trying to get rid of Ladies Night. But I was like, I like it. You know what I mean? I think it's hilarious. I think that's we bring it back. Don't even let him pick. He picked that himself. You can't pick your own.
Yeah, that's the rule, right? You can't pick it yourself.
Someone asked him where that came from. I got no idea where Black Jag came from. Ladies Night, though.
You know.
Oh, you seen that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You seen that guy?
Yeah. He got that. He was blessed. He was blessed. He was blessed.
You don't even let that fella look at your missus. She'll get pregnant. You just settle down, bro.
He got that magic stick.
Settle down.
But I think, this when he first came into the UFC, I feel like there's some of this pressure that you have being part of your team, Sid Kickboxing, right? And it's because the reason why is like it's a smaller team compared to all the other major teams. You know what I mean? Like
well,
American
it's not. You
teams,
don't. Yeah, you don't let like those. Anyone can show up, right? Like I could go there tomorrow, and if I pay the money, they're going to let me train. If one of these guys just showed up at City Kickboxing, like they're not. You can't just pay the money and train. Like unless you got like invited or someone or something like that. Like you just said it himself. Like Huge doesn't train anyone that he doesn't consider himself like friends with. Like if he doesn't feel like. If he doesn't feel like you're like a good person or genuine person or something like that, like he said, like he doesn't want to train like a shit bloke. You know what I mean? Like why would you want to make someone that's like shit or like abuses their missus or they're just a shit bloke? Why would you want to make that guy a millionaire? You know what I mean? Why would you want to change that guy's life? Why would you want to give time away from your family and give it to like someone that's shit? Like that's why it's like it's not for the money, like it's a very like a close-knit team.
I was talking to somebody about that. I think it was George, about how like Eugene runs the ship at City Kickboxing because they have somewhat like him and Frank have pretty good insight of, what's going on. And, you guys all know each other. You guys are friends with each other. And I was like, man, Eugene is like the godfather, because you can't get into city kickboxing and train unless you like someone vouches for, like in the mafia, they have to vouch for you. And then you get, and then you gotta go talk to the godfather and shit. Then he's gotta approve you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seems like. And I have no problem with that. It's like, you run your ship the way you run it, because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Like, you can't argue that shit. But going back to Carlos, in the this is funny. This is pretty funny. He said Carlos versus Johnny Walker for the light heavyweight stripper title. That is,
I'm down. Is Johnny Walker? Is he still ranked? That's a good fight.
That is a good fight. I like that
fight. I like that fight.
It's a very good fight. I'm gonna have to Twitter, get on the internets and suggest that to somebody, or someone needs to ask him. Like, you want to go against Johnny Walker on a dance off for the light heavyweight stripper championships? No, that's just a solid good fight. I would love to see that. And Johnny Walker, he needs to.
It's like Carlos's thing though. Now he's just like, I'm not just super good looking, guys. Don't like. imagine the worst part about your life is that you're so good looking. That's all people talk about. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, mate. No. You know what I mean? Like, it's the worst thing going on in the guy's life is that he's so good looking that it's all people talk about him.
People are spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to have that problem of being too good looking, and he just was born that way.
You're just like that. You just grew up, looked in the mirror, and you were like, "Oh, life is gonna be really easy."
Yeah, it's just like they're like, "What product?" Like some people, they'll probably be like, "What are you using?" It's like, I just wake up and wash my face with water. What are you talking about? Like,
genetics. Genetics. Good genetics.
But, shout out to Carlos, man. He did really well. I feel like, going back to the pressure thing, I was going to get into that. Like, I think Carlos and, almost everybody, when they come in and debut, since you guys blazed this trail for them, you, Izzy, and, Kai and everybody, there's a little bit more pressure coming from that team. And I feel like there's more expectations from people that are watching the UFC, from people that come from City Kickboxing making their debut. And I feel like it got lost that Carlos only has so many MMA fights. You know what I mean? It's not like he has like 20 MMA fights and he's heading into the UFC. We got to see him develop in the octagon. But this fight, he looked so much more comfortable compared to like 2 fights ago.
Yeah, it'll just come with his confidence. You know what I mean? Like, as you get more experience in the octagon, good things happen. Your confidence grows. You can definitely see like a shift in like the way that he trains and the way that he approaches it is just, he's absolutely focused. Like, it's his sole focus. And I don't know, nothing can really make you realize that like a loss. You take a loss and you stand in the mirror and you've only got yourself to blame. You gotta start making some pretty big adjustments and some pretty big changes. So you definitely saw that with Carlos. I feel like he's reached a new level in his mentality, and we're just seeing that shine, and that sets off like a good tone for the team, right? Like, I feel like that's what I've seen from everyone, and that's what I've been feeling in the gym. Like, you can see all the videos, you can see Volk and Izzy and all the boys, like, they're over there with Carlos. It's not like Carlos has gone over there a week early and everyone's just set him off on himself. Like, everyone went a little early, right? Like, they all headed over to Las Vegas, like a week earlier than they usually would have, or another half a week earlier than they would have or should have, just to support him. And so they're finishing off their camp with each other, like the PI and stuff like that. And did you see they did Spider, so Volk and Israel did their last Spider over there. Carlos went straight from his fight and he was helping out in the Spider. Like, he chucked the gloves on and he was getting after it, like straight after he fight. Like, most teams that I've experienced like internationally, that's just the difference with the culture. You win a fight, you don't come back to camp until you get another fight. Like that's it's most teams. They're just like, yeah, thanks boys, and you don't see them again. But that's like just what's expected of you at City Kickboxing is you get straight back on the mat and you give back to the people that got you to the dance. You know, that was just, man, to see him like half an hour after his fight, it would be half an hour after he finished like all his press. He was back in the gym, like helping his teammates. Like that is why City Kickboxing is what City Kickboxing is.
Yeah, nowadays, I don't know if it's nowadays, but there's always been the fighters that only do what they want to do and kind of just take care of themselves, and that's it. And you don't see them in the gym.
It is like a weird balance though. Like fighting is like like that's like the balance with fighting though, because it is such a super selfish sport. Like you have to put yourself ahead of others, like in every aspect. You know, your family wants you to hang out, but you can't hang out with your family because you gotta rest. Your friends want you to go to their birthday, but you can't go because you you got training in the morning. Like you gotta prioritize yourself. Like you're at a gym and you're not getting what you need to be getting. Like you need to be selfish and put yourself in the right place. So it's it is like a weird balance. So you can't like over criticize someone for being like really selfish when it's like a super selfish sport.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It is an extremely selfish sport, and sometimes you do have to be selfish. You have to choose that side, but but some people, you know, I think some fighters, they're just like overly selfish, that they don't really care. They're only caring about themselves, and that's it. And I feel like you could only go so far like that. You know what I mean? Because
that's just like that's like just not an acceptable part of like the team culture at City Kickboxing. If you just didn't come, if you only came in for your fight camps, like just it would not fly. Like it would not fly. Like it would not fly. Like you just wouldn't. Just would not a possibility.
Yeah. Any other fights that you thought were pretty good on this card?
What was the other one? The Chinese bloke, and then that was the two blonde guys. What was their name?
Yeah, none of them are natural blondes. Shaylin and TJ Brown. That was a close fight.
That was a good fight. That was a good fight. Like that was like two extremely similar fighters. Like that was what it was like. That one was pretty cool to watch. That was but a long day. Like the heavyweight one was a mess. That was like them just trying to get like a French guy a win so they could put him on the French card, right? And then it didn't work. That was a mess.
They hate it when it doesn't work. They hate it when it doesn't work.
Don't get a plan. Like they gave him a layup and he fumbled. He fumbled the bag.
He almost won in the first round. Like he knocked him down, and he knocked him down with this shot. This one.
Yeah.
I never seen
a little
that.
hammer. Almost doesn't get you anything in this game, brother. Almost gets you second place, and second place is last place in fighting. So almost don't get you shit.
Is this true? J-Spec was saying that Chris Curtis went perfect 20 for 20 takedown stops.
He did not get taken down. That was that was an interesting fight. That was like a grueling fight, right? Like that was a good one to watch. That was just grueling. Like that hurt to watch. Like him defend that many takedowns, like the body shots that he was getting. Like that was a good fight. Not like, I'm not saying it wasn't like the most exciting fight because like criticizing either fighting. It was just the way that the styles worked out. That rather than that being like a super entertaining fight, that was just like a grueling fight. That's like a grueling fight to watch. Like that. As a fighter, that fight like hurt me to watch.
Yeah, my expectation of that fight was like either Vieira's gonna like get it to the ground and be able to work his jiu-jitsu because he's fucking phenomenal at it, or Chris Curtis is just gonna knock his block off. And Vieira just showed a better chin, and Curtis was good at defending everything. You know what I mean? Even though he was trying to take him, or what was it? He was defending all the takedowns, which could have allowed him to like reverse position and land on top of. Most likely he didn't want it. So like I put out
a go off like that,
Yeah.
like it's just ground, no ground. You put that in the back of your head. You're just like, what, train for like 3 months, 2 months, just like no ground, no. That's like
No.
that's like written on the back of your eyeballs, like no, just no touching him, don't touch him.
Yeah. And I hate it when like what is it? ESPN makes me look like a complete asshole. Like I'll tweet something out before the fight, like, hey, this fight's gonna be good. One of these guys is gonna get finished, they're gonna get a bonus. I wrote that on Twitter ahead of this fight. They put that shit right where the first round started. They put that shit on the screen. And then that fight became just fucking what it became. And I'm just like, you just become a complete fucking like asshole.
I see you on there all the time. I always see you, the JHK popping up there, and I'm always like, my God, I do it now and then, but I only do it as like a party trick. You know what I mean? Like if I'm sitting around with a bunch of people trick. And it's like one of the boys, and they're just like, everyone's seeing like them pop up, and they're like, oh, you reckon you could get one on? Like that's the only time I'll do it. Like I'll tweet some shit that I like know is guaranteed to get on the screen. Like I'll just be like, this fight's gonna be fireworks, fight of the night, coming inbound, baby. And then bang, you see it pop on the screen. Everyone's like, oh, you got it on the TV. Like it's just it's a party trick. I don't know.
It is a party trick for people that get on the screen, right? Because I've done it too myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been watching UFC. I'm not gonna lie. I've done it too. And they're like, hey, I see you sometimes on the screen. I'm just like, watch.
They're like, can you do it now? You're like, can I do it now? Can I do it now? I think the last I got I don't tweet people because the last time I tried to do it, I was like, hey everyone, watch this. And then I wrote a tweet, and then I waited for it the whole fight, and it never came up. And I wrote another one. And I was like, this one's good. And then that one didn't go. I'm never doing it again. I was like, this backfired so hard. I was like, no more party tricks. No more party tricks. I'm done.
It could be a good party trick, but it could be, a bad party trick, because you don't control it. It's not like you call somebody at the UFC or ESPN and be like, yo, I'm about to put a tweet out. You better put that shit on this. No, it's just like they choose whoever they choose. And I'm just lucky to be chosen. I don't know why, but I am, right? So, but I ain't gonna lie to people. I do write
the blue tick, brother.
That's
you
right.
got the blue tick.
Check. How come these motherfuckers at Instagram and Facebook, I'm be like, yo, I got a blue check on this. How come you guys can't give me a blue check? It's like, do I have to pay money to these scammer dudes that always message me and be like, yo, I've been watching your Instagram. You seem like you have some followers. Pay us this much money and then we'll give.
Do you want to grow your Instagram? I'm like, nah. I'm good. That's enough.
Yeah. It's what is it? Sometimes I'll write some ridiculous shit. Like today I wrote Instagram is a joke. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's good for MMA news, but at the end of the day, a lot of it's just a joke. You just write shit and people get angry. That's what I do it sometimes for. I just fucking put some shit out there and then people just fucking just go hard. I'm just like, yeah. How many followers did I get from that tweet? Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is.
That's
what it is. So today, I wrote 10-8 round for Shavkat, first round, 10-8. Did I think it was really a 10-8? I don't know. And they're like, you don't know nothing about judging. And I was like,
fuck, I was gonna abuse you about that one. I saw it. I was like, what are you watching? This is a close fight. I thought Neil had that round.
You should have. You should have just fucking retweeted that shit and just fucking quoted it. Just be like, this guy doesn't know shit.
I think anyone that follows me knows that I'm a serial shit talker. I'm a serial fire starter because I am in real life. I would just say mean things, and that's fine with me. I'm I'm just happy saying mean things. So I don't really take it personally. Like all of this is just silly to me. You know, if someone says something mean to me on the internet, like I will completely disregard it. Like I don't take it. If you say something mean to me in real life, like I will punch your face in. Like there's two very different things.
It is. But you know, you have relationships with certain people, right? Where you guys could say the wildest shit to each other in front of people, but you have an understanding like this is fucking our banter. This is like how we talk to each other, and it's just funny. You know, but other people say, like the other night I was at dinner with a couple with a UFC fighter and like a couple coaches and some people, you know, family members, and you know Woody, the strength and conditioning coach, right? Like he's one of the nicest guys, right? British guy, just one of the nicest guys, like one of the best people. Yeah, Big Wood, one of the best people I know. But me and him, we go back and forth and say the most crass, craziest shit to each other. And we were doing it at the dinner. We were doing it at the dinner, going back and forth. And some of the people don't really know us, you know. And we're just like saying some wild shit. Some people are laughing, and some people are just like, "What is going on?" And we're just like, "This is how we talk to each other. Don't worry about it." You know what I mean? It's just love. This is how we love each other.
When I get sick of the boys' cameras at the gym, you just say like the worst shit. You know they can't put that on the internet. Like, you know, so you're just like, I'm in a bad mood or something, and then like they'll come up with a camera and they're like, "Hey Dan, say something," and you just say like the worst shit. And then that just like kills their whole video. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. If those videos ever get released, I am screwed.
You're fucked. Yeah.
I'm so fucked if any of those videos come out.
All right, let's go on to next weekend, man. Or next weekend is actually a major weekend for your team. 3 guys are fighting. So let's go down the line and just talk about those fights. I think they're all phenomenal fights. I actually like Brad's fight. I think that's gonna be like the clash of styles, right? But like the physical differences too, you know, Jalen Turner is like really tall and long. He loves to strike. Brad, of course, he's a striker. He loves to strike. But the distance, how they're going to play with the distance, I think that's going to be interesting to watch. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be a quick finish. I think these guys are going to be standing there and throwing hard at each other. What do you see in this?
Yeah, obviously, like the height, like Jalen Turner. I like that fight. Like that fight. I like the sound of that. I like Turner. Like I would love to get on there and compete with him, just because he's really tall, and I don't know. I think it'd be fun. But yeah, like I think people forget like the amount of experience that Brad has as a kickboxer as well. Like before his MMA career, like 70 fights as like a pro kickboxer. Like that's a lot of fights, and he was fighting at a lot of those fights were at welterweight for MMA, where they were at 77 kilos. Like he cut down to lightweight. He cut down to 70 kilos for the UFC. So like he's not like the biggest guy height wise in the world. You know what I mean? Like 77 kilos. Do you know how many Jalen Turners this guy's fought before? Do you know how many like 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3"? Like, you know how many guys that have had a reach advantage? Of those 70 fights, I would say like 50, 60 of them against guys that are taller than him. Like he's got a lot of experience closing the distance. Like this is where he falls back on that 70 fight experience. Like I feel like this is a fight where people are gonna think that he's gonna have a problem and he's gonna really shine. That's what I think this fight's gonna be. People are gonna be like, "Oh man, how's he gonna deal with the range?" And I think he's gonna. This is where he has the most experience. I think people forget is against guys that are taller than him and against guys that he has to close the distance, get inside and run up some numbers with some strikes. And this is what he does. This is what he does.
When Brad, I think he fought once or twice for one championship for that Super Series, and he actually fought the champ, the guy that's the champion right now, Ursel, and he is I think he's like 6'3" or 6'4" or something like that, just
Yeah.
long. And Brad went in
That's
there and just
yeah.
went crazy with him. You know what I mean? It was a great fight.
Yeah. I think he lost the decision, but it was like a mean fight, like very close fight, very close fight.
Brad is like he's one of those guys. I don't know him personally, and I've never like talked to him or anything like that. But just from watching his fights and his catalog, and just people that know him telling me about him, he's just a fucking hard cunt. Like that's what that's what it is, right? He's just a hard cunt.
Just likes to fight, bro. Like that's all he really cares about. Like he doesn't care about looking good. He doesn't care about saying fancy shit. He doesn't think about what he's gonna say, like, or anything like that. Like the guy just likes to fight. And I feel like once you get to like those upper echelon positions and people just start paying more attention, like that's when guys like that really shine. Like I remember like Mark Hunt, people used to just be like, "What, this guy says nothing," like he'd just go to his post-fight interview and just be like, he goes, "So how was that?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, it's a good fight." What was your game? What's your game plan? Yeah, just gonna punch him. Like they're. But as you get to like the higher level, it kind of turns into a thing. Like it kind of turned into a thing where Mark Hunt would just say, everyone knew he's gonna say like super short answers, short and sweet, and just say like just gonna punch his head off or something like that. You know what I mean? At the earlier level, everyone's like, man. People would look at Mark Hunt and be like, man, this guy needs some media training or how to answer questions. But it's just like. He was just genuine to himself the whole way through. And I think that's all that Brad's doing. He's just being him. Like he's just being genuine to himself. And once it gets to it doesn't really get appreciated till you get to like that upper echelon and people just start. It's not that you get more interesting. It's just people start paying more attention to you. Like that's like the real funny thing about it. Like that's like Habib, right? Like he's a devout Muslim who's been like living in the mountains and doesn't really say much. Like coming up, people couldn't care less about what he was saying, like coming into fights. But as soon as he starts beating the best guys in the world and winning world titles and stuff like this, like just people's interest just skyrockets. Like, yeah, it would have never crossed the UFC's mind that like a mountain man from a devout Muslim mountain man would be one of the biggest stars in the UFC, which is an American-based company. Like that is like unfathomable, I would say, for most people. But it happened because he won fights. People love winners. That's as simple as it is.
It is simple. And then when you could latch onto, a certain section of the world, which is a massive, massive fan base, and then bring them into the sport, of course the UFC is gonna, realize it, and then they're like, fuck, this dude's a fucking superstar. We gotta fucking buy Abu Dhabi and, and put on shows. And that's what's been happening. And the next wave is coming too with Hamzat and Islam and whoever else, coming down the pipeline. And it's great to see, man. It's just the growth of the sport. But with Brad, man, I don't know. I don't see like this fight going to the judges. Like I don't see this one like lasting. I think it will last to the third round, but I think there's gonna be like a finish there. There's gonna be someone getting decapitated in this fight. Like both guys have that ability. It's gonna be a fun one, man. I think it's one of the fight of the night contenders. Like that fight, Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberena, that's a fucking banger too itself. Donald Cerrone stepping in on short notice and fighting Jim Miller again.
He's stepping in and fighting.
Yeah,
that's a good fight. Well, they fought twice, haven't they? That's twice or once?
I think that's their second time fighting, I believe. Let me check.
Was it a body kick? Didn't Cowboy stop him with
Yeah, I think so. Or was that Pettis? Where's Jim Miller? Man.
Pettis just got stopped with a body triangle in PFL.
Okay. It was a head kick. Cerrone stopped Miller with the head. This was in, when this was? 2014. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
new
was gonna
fight.
say- yeah, I was gonna
It's a
say
new
like
fight.
I think I just got signed to the UFC.
It's a new fight. You know, it's a brand new matchup, and I like it. But I'm leaning towards Jim Miller. Man, Jim Miller has looked phenomenal in his last couple of fights. Man, the guy has hit a gear at a later age, and I just think that overall, I think he's gonna look better. And Cowboy, I don't know, man. Cowboy's filming movies, and he was supposed to fight like what, last week or 2 weeks ago, and then his opponent pulled out. So I don't know if that's gonna have effect on him, but and you know, age and durability and all that stuff are factors. But I see Jim
Yeah,
Miller
or
doing his
like
thing.
personally, like yeah, like that Joe Lozon Cowboy, like they tried to do it twice, but as soon as like, oh man, Cowboys, it would just be cool because they're just like legends to fight like either of those guys. But as soon as Dana White come out and said like this fight is loser leaves town, that's like me as a fighter, like get the 10-foot pole out. It's like you don't want to barb. Like if Dana White says that a guy is in like a loser leaves town fight, like that's not a direction that you just want to be heading. Like that will kill. Yeah, like it'll be good to see Cowboy go out with a win. I think he said 2. I think he said he's got 2 more left in him. This is like a good fight. You know what I mean? Like two veterans. I think it's any man's game. Like I feel like it's any man's game, really.
Yeah, I think if Cerrone's gonna have 2 last fights, Jim Miller is a good fight for one of those last fights, and I think
Jim ain't
Cerrone,
going.
if he does
Win, lose or
return,
draw. Jim Miller ain't going anywhere. Like that guy is
nah.
like hell bent on having the most UFC fights, never to be like. Who's he having the He's having a showdown with. It's him and who's the second most fights? Jim?
I think it's Cowboy.
Nah, I think it's
It's
Cowboy.
not Cowboy.
It might be.
But
Nah,
Jim Miller, he said he's gonna retire at UFC 300, which is fucking far away. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of fights.
Yeah, man, game.
Respect to Jim Miller, man. If he can do it and win fights, and he was taking out youngsters too. It's not like he was just taking out like other like gritty veterans. Like he went out there and took out some youngsters. So shout out to Jim Miller. What else is there? There's like Jessica Rose Clark. She's fighting. She's actually the first fight on the card. I think she had a mishap in her last fight, but I think this is a really good matchup for her. I don't really know much about her opponent. Julia, what is it? Julia Storenko, maybe Russian.
pronunciation.
Yeah, you know me. I don't know how to read for some reason. So first names I can read, last names I don't. My
Russian
abilities.
chick. Yeah, I really
Russian
dumb it
woman.
down.
So there's in the lightweight division, there's a couple decent fights. You know, Brad and Jalen, what is it? Cerrone and Miller. That's good. Uriah Hall is fighting Andre Muniz. Muniz
That's all we forgot
monster.
from Thiago Moises. We didn't even bring that up.
Oh yeah,
that was a good performance. Right. Yeah, he beat
that was
that guy.
Christos Yagos.
Yeah. Who did he call out? I know he had that that was like a sweet finish. That's like a jaw lock, rear naked choke, like a modification. That was sick. That was like super. Yeah, he called out. Who is Paul Solecki?
Oh, Joe Solecki.
Yeah, Joe Solecki.
Yeah, Joe Solecki. He coming from the Contender Series. He got signed from the Contender Series. Now he's at probably like 5+ fights.
That's like a weird call out. Then why would you call?
It is an odd call out because Moises was top 15 or.
Maybe he just does he got like a beef with the guy or something?
Joe Solecki's one of the nicest guys out there, man. Like real. Like he doesn't talk shit about anybody at all. Like he trains with Brian Barberena and over there at Jimmo, and they have a little tight gym, but yeah, Joe Solecki, he's doing this thing. But yeah, I don't think he's talking shit. Maybe Moises is trying to fight out his contract and go over to PFL and try to chase after that $1 million. Who knows? That's an option now. That's an option
good
for
money.
fighters now. That's what I'm saying. And you get paid pretty good for just fighting in the tournament, not even winning the whole damn thing.
Yeah, like
Yo, did you
you
see?
must get so good. You must get paid so well that like Pettis is just literally showing up. Like this guy ain't even giving it a good crack anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like Pettis has gone over there and done really well. I mean, for his bank account. I'm talking about for his bank account, because that would be the only reason in my mind for him to leave and go to PFL. And plus, PFL gives you a little bit more freedom to do whatever you want to do, I guess. Because
like,
I guess he wants to get into boxing or whatever.
I talk so much shit on like Twitter and stuff that I like forget what I said. Like I forget like who I talk shit to. Like I talk that much. You know what I mean? Like I forget like who I've offended. And then I was in Las Vegas like watching UFC. And I like got up to go to the bathroom or something, and like I was like walked past, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's Anthony Pettis." So I was like, "What's up, my guy?" Like just gave him a smile, like a thumbs up, and he just looked at me weird, like kind of mean mugging. I was like, "Oh, that was a bit weird." And then I was like talking with my mate, and he was like, "You were talking shit about him. You were calling him Anthony No Show Pettis," and I was like, "Oh, that's right." I was like, "No, I did. My bad." I just completely forgot that I'd been calling him like Anthony No Show Pettis and calling him out for years. I was like, "Oh, he's still mad about that? Like, you're mad about that? Forget about it."
What is it? The Wi-Fi has you frozen, Dan.
I'm frozen.
But it's a good frozen.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah, it has you
Am I still
frozen for a
frozen?
second. Like you were cutting in and out.
Can you hear me?
The Wi-Fi. Yeah, I could hear you. It's just.
Do you reckon if I move
There you
my
go.
phone, it will unfreeze
But
it?
yeah, the
Is
Wi-Fi
it unfrozen? Did
like
that actually
really
work?
low, I think.
What about now? What about now?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Oh, I can't understand what you're saying. It's just cutting out.
Oh yeah.
But
I'll change position.
during the technical difficulties, okay, see?
How about now?
Man, it's on it. But
Can you hear
someone
me?
was saying in the comments that what is it?
I'm gonna just
Shoeface,
put it in.
who left the UFC after not being able to get into any contender fights. He was paid more in 2 or 3 fights than 10 fights in the UFC. So, you know,
Well, everyone
everybody's
says
different
that.
though.
Everyone
I'm gonna say
says
this
that
right
though.
now.
Like,
Not every person is gonna go over there.
I'll definitely
Yeah,
cut out now.
everybody says that, right? So, yeah. Hopefully. Where's the fucking my shit? I don't think so. What the fuck?
I'm changing levels.
It's good now.
Mate, you've been there the whole time. I can.
Jim Miller is 39.
I've had you the whole time, but
So somebody put up the number of fights. Let's put it. Nick Dillard. We're gonna trust you, Nick. Jim Miller, 39 fights. Cerrone, 37 fights. Jeremy Stevens, 34 fights. Maya, 33. Clay Guida, 33. Sanchez, 32. Dos Anjos is 31. Oliver already has 30. That's crazy. That's crazy amount of fights. How many fights you have, Dan, total in the UFC? Yeah, I can see. I can hear you.
I don't know. 19 or 20? Is it cutting out? Fuck, I can't hear.
Let me try to flip this. Fuck. What's wrong with this shit? We back.
Are we back?
Hello.
Hello.
The fuck?
I reckon we just call it, bud.
Why is it unstable? All right, wait one
Ah,
second.
it's you. It's you.
Try to fix this shit.
It's you. It's not me, Baba. Nah, it could be me.
I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this.
So it's Thai Wi-Fi, Baba.
The fuck?
Hit and miss.
All right, it's getting better. I think your Wi-Fi is fine. I think it's my shit.
Well, fuck, I'm going back to where I was then.
The fuck? Yeah. Go back. Let me go get something real fast. All right, sorry everybody for the technical difficulties. But
You fixed it.
no, but it looked like it got fixed. But let me switch it up. Let me see what happens. Be patient, people. 09.
No one's patient. People don't have any
7,
patience.
4, 9.
Oh, yeah, and he's gone. I reckon it's him. Stop me.
All right. All right, we're good, I think. We're good now.
We're back? We're back?
All right. Yeah, we're back. Now we're good. All right, so let's jump into the co-main event. Volkanovski. At this time around, he did what? He made a couple trips out there during this camp, right?
Yeah, he made 2 trips out. So I think the first one he came out for a couple of weeks. Yeah, I think he spent like maybe 3 weeks, all up. So I think like most of his camp was done at home with Joe Lopez at Freestyle MMA and the boys that he's got there. But yeah, he definitely made a couple of jumps over to City Kickboxing just to get some. I reckon just feed off the energy. You know, there's so many guys going on the same card. They're just like feeding off each other, and that's why I feel like Carlos is such a good start. You know, like that definitely helps like the momentum of the team. Like everyone's like super inspired by watching him go out there and perform the way that he did. Like that's very inspiring for the rest of the team.
Yeah, that's huge because like I noticed it. Like Bang Tao, it's been open for a couple months now, but every fighter that has fought, that has trained, that is part of the team, they won. Every single one, every single fighter, which is great for the gym and great for morale. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's motivating for everybody. Everybody's feeding off the energy. But did you train with Volk while he was there?
Yeah, sharp, man. Like fit, like super sharp, super fit. That's good.
Do you see anything like? Because you remember, I've talked to him a few times, in the last couple of months, and he, he was focused a lot on like proving the doubters wrong and kind of like trying to shut them up more. But in the last like fight or so, he focused on just like, impressing like his team and, like doing it for people that really matter. Did that ever become a conflict for you? Like trying to shut people up that were like talking too much or, like that type of stuff?
Nah, not me, but I don't really care about what anyone says. I think for him, just like the last couple of performances have really like changed people's perception of him. Like Max is like one of the like fan favorites, right? Like every fight fan likes Max Holloway. Like he's like Will Smith, back in the he's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith. Like everyone likes that guy. Like no one dislikes that guy. That's Max Holloway. He's a Will Smith on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like everyone absolutely loves the guy. So then to beat that guy twice, like everyone was kind of just like, oh, because they were close fights. But then what he's done, like for the Ortega fight, was sick. Like that was like a back and forth. Oh, not really back and forth. He just bashed Ortega. But like the submissions were close, and he just showed his heart and gutted him out. Like that was a wicked fight. And then Korean Zombie was just like he just showed his class. Like he showed his level and what he's capable of against the best in the world. So I think just he's added to his legacy with that fight, and I feel like he's won a lot more fans. So it's definitely like the perception around Volk has changed. Like now he's not just now people really appreciate what he's done. Taking out guys like Aldo and Chad Mendes, then Max Holloway twice, then Ortega. Like his legacy is growing that much deeper, and I feel like he's changed. Changed his perception with a lot of fight fans with those other wins. So yeah, I think it's like a bit more of an even keel coming into this fight, and it's not like it was just a weird vibe, right? Like after he beat Max the first time and after he beat Max the second time, it was just like a weird vibe amongst the fans. But I think it's just changed with his wins since then.
Yeah, definitely. And from your training and just interactions with Volk, like what kind of vibes do you get from him heading into this fight? Because you're probably had interactions ahead of the second or the first, especially the first fight, because I think you guys prepared, or he prepared at City Kickboxing for some of that too.
Yeah. The first one he was, I think that's when he come over and was working with the team at City Kickboxing. But like he's always on, bro. Like this guy, self-belief is like he's a champion. Like he does what champions do. He's always ticking all the boxes. Like that's definitely not one of them. Is like his self-belief. Like he's always been super confident. He's always been just a competitor. He's just like his competitive. You see that in his fights. Like he doesn't go out there with like malice, or he doesn't go out there like a brawler or being an idiot. Like he goes out there he's just a really ultra competitive sportsman. You see it in like the Ortega fight, and you see it in the Korean Zombie fight, where he's like genuinely concerned for their safety. Like he's like, you see him like stop during those fights and just be like he's hitting them, moving, and he just like leans in and he's like, "Are you all right?" Like he'll just like genuinely concerned for like their safety. It's just like a weird, it's like a weird sportsmanness that he has. I do not possess this. I do not possess this care for my opponent.
What is sportsman? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't a sport.
Exactly. How long have we been saying it, right? This ain't a sport. We call it a sport, but
this guy.
This is not a
and
sport.
Then Bulk's doing round 2 welfare checks. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Just hit the guy.
That's so funny. Like that they should make Volk should make like a little funny video of that, like him like fighting somebody or him fighting, and then all of a sudden he stops.
Good.
You good? You okay? Because he's like one of the nicest guys. He is really like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. You know what I mean? So yeah. But what do you see in this fight though? Like we saw the first fight. Volk clearly won that fight. Second fight, much closer. I think either way would it wouldn't have made me mad. This third one, people are like, oh, they know each other, so will we see a finish? I don't know, man. Both those guys are so fucking durable that it's gonna be hard to finish each other. Don't you see that?
I feel like it's gonna be another close fight. Like those are the two best featherweights in the world, like hands down, like head and shoulders. I feel like they're just on a little bit ahead of anyone else in the division at the moment. Like that, I just feel like Volk's got his number. You know what I mean? And we've seen it twice. Like he was saying, he was a bit lackadaisical in that second fight and got caught out of position a couple of times, and just the levels and growth that he's shown since then in the Ortega fight, and then in the Korean Zombie fight, like he's just more focused than ever. Like he's definitely not, as a champion, like lost any kind of motivation or focus. Like it's just building even more. So I feel like the deck is definitely stacked in his favor coming into this. He's more mature as under the lights. He's more mature, and I feel like we'll see fight week. Like I feel like he's going to handle this very well. Even though that Max is the fan favorite and stuff like that, like he's going to handle this very well. And that's the thing. You beat a guy 3 times like that. You ain't getting another rematch. Like he's gonna have to go change division or something crazy like that, because you're not getting another shot in a while.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 3 times is, they always say 3 times the charm. So I guess he's gonna have to do that. In that second fight, I think some people forget that USADA woke him up like hours before the fight, like while he was sleeping on Fight Island, to test him on like the night before the fight. It's like USADA, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. So that's what Joe Lopez told me, that story, and that's why he kind of had that that slow start in the fight in the second one, because USADA woke him up in the middle of the night, dude. He's trying to sleep all the way through and wake up at a certain time, because you remember they were fighting in the morning, like in the middle of the morning, right? So, and that whole situation happened. So, but none of that is going to be a problem because they're fighting in Vegas, and Vegas don't fuck around. So let's see what happens.
Nah, they dick me in. What was that one? Hack Press one where I flew in the day
Dallas
before the weigh-ins. Nah, that was in Vegas, but I flew in like whatever 10 hours before the weigh-in or whatever like that, and that was that fight. Like I was like catching up on sleep just because I was like jet lagged and stuff like that, and they did the same thing. They wake me up like in the middle of my sleep. But how are they gonna know our sleep schedules, right?
Yeah, but still, like, they know the event schedules, right? They know what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard to understand. But like you said, anyways, fucking USADA, get the fuck out of here. But
I don't like showing strange men my penis, but I also like not having to fight people on steroids. Like that is I'll show as many men my penis as I possibly can to not have to fight guys on steroids. It's a good mix.
There you go. That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt right there. I'm not gonna lie, that's a t-shirt. Someone's gonna make that. Someone make that t-shirt. Now, yeah. So the main event, Adesanya versus Cannonier. Adesanya, you know, when he did the the press conference in Australia with Volk and Kai. And what about the fan that asked Kai during the press conference, "Yo, Kai, how many fights do you think you are from a title shot?" Motherfucker, Kai is fighting for a fucking title in his next fight. This fan comes up and asks him, like, how many fights do you think you're from a title shot?
Man.
I think Kai got a little heated. I think Kai got a little heated with that question. It's like, yo, do you know what the fuck's going on? Like, be smart. You know, like.
Yeah, but he's not gonna be like mean. Like I would just be mean.
Yeah.
I would be like, dickhead, you know, then I have the internet where you come from. I'd be like, take 5 seconds, Google that shit. I'm fighting for a title.
Fucking idiot. But Adesanya, he said that he's gonna make it look easy. He said it's not gonna be it's gonna be a difficult fight, but he's gonna make it look easy. I wonder what he sees in Cannonier. You know what I mean? Because Cannonier, he has the power, but I think, like, on the technical side of things, it's hard to match that level, right, of Adesanya.
You there? You froze again. Oh, me?
Froze?
Yeah, I think it's a silly fight. I think it's another silly fight. I think it's yeah. I think it's a silly fight. I think he's gonna wipe the floor with him. I think like I'm not being a dick. I said this before. Everyone's going, "Oh, Paulo Costa is really mean." Oh, that Paulo Costa, he's Dun, like, oh, he hits pretty hard and he's got big muscles. Like, it's the same shit, bro. Like,
He's got big muscles.
give me some big muscle slow guy. Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a good style. Like, he's just a muscle bound striker. Like, let's get real about the situation. Like, does he have takedowns? Not really. Does he have like good submissions, like a scrambling wrestling game? Like, no, he doesn't. Like, he's gonna stand. He's a muscle bound striker. Like, what has Israel? You show me a muscle bound striker that has ever done good against Israel.
I
Cannot
don't remember any. Yeah, I don't remember any.
Cannot. Like, they look good, but they get licked. They get licked. Like, he's so elusive and so like long and so quick at covering distance. Just like, it's just the style of fighter that he's just built to look good against. Sorry, I killed the hype.
When you think of muscle-bound strikers, you have one at the gym, which is Carlos, and he's much bigger than. Come on. He's a beautiful man. Come on.
Yeah, but that's a lean guy, and he's not like.
Okay.
He's not like that.
He's not. He looks pretty big.
Yeah, Cannonier's like that. He's like that. You know, like.
I want somebody to Photoshop a heavyweight version of Dan, but like looking like Overeem, because I can see that. Someone
I just lose my neck. Like, this is all that happens. Like, I just straight up lose a neck. Like, that's it.
But how do you see this fight playing out, though?
He licks him. He stops him. Like, I'm excited for the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited to see my friend go out there and do the dance, but I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think they're all good fights, but like I said earlier, Brad and Jalen, that's the fight. That fight is going.
That's a fight. Yeah. Like, I'm interested to see that fight. Holloway, Volk, like, that's a fight. Like, that's a close fight, man. Like, let's see it. You know, let's see the levels and the growth that Volk's got. Like, let's see how Brad like approaches the situation. Like, Israel and Cannonier, like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm not speculating. I'm telling you.
Go get your wallets open. Go open your wallet. Take that crispy 100 and throw it on.
I'm telling you,
on Izzy,
not gonna be that close. Not gonna be like a close fight.
Also,
you can have all the belief in the world. You can believe in yourself so much, but his jab is so fast and so long, and when he starts kicking in the body, that self-belief just really takes a nosedive.
It drains you. But it's gonna be an incredible card, man. Like, the whole card from the first fight to the last one, just good matchups.
Straight up.
I'm gonna enjoy it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. The last couple of shows, I didn't even watch all of the fights. You know, I saw glimpses. You know, you get up and do things and sit back down. But this one, I'm probably gonna just be sitting there just watching every fight.
Yeah,
straight from the. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Top to bottom.
Hey, what about these little, like? You know, one thing about the internet is it's funny, but at the same time annoying. Is like all these, like, I don't know who they are, but they just make these pages or these accounts, and they're like, oh, inside scoop, Dan Hooker is gonna fight Clay Guida. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, I was gonna message you, Dad, but then I was like, it's just a waste of time, because it's like,
bro, I was fighting Conor McGregor. I was fighting a month ago. I was fighting Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? How did I go from Conor McGregor to Clay Guida? It's like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you go from how do you do that? Like, how do you go from Conor McGregor to Clay Guida? Like, that's like going from, like, you know, like a tomahawk steak to bacon. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same. That's what I'm saying. He's still good. Clay Guida is still fucking good.
He's still really good. It's really
he's still very good. It's a good match.
I like the day I like the fight. I think Clay Guida's like an absolute G. I think it would just be an honor to share the cage with him. Absolutely no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, like my manager calls me and he's like, "You got any idea what this Clay Guida thing is?" And I was like, "No, like I'll do it. Like I'm keen, but I'm keen for any fight. That's like a dumb question. There's not gonna be like any of those rumors, and they'll be like, I'll be like, no, I'm not gonna fight that guy. Like I've got no, I'll fight anyone. Clay Guida's a good fight. It's a good day. I'll fight Conor McGregor. That's a good fight. That's a good day. You know what I mean? I love bacon. I love bacon. I would love
and a tomahawk.
Tomahawk's good. Tomahawk's good. Wrap it in bacon. You know what I mean? Bacon entree.
Oh shit.
Let's go.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say like your manager called you and said, "Yo, did you drop a rumor that you're fighting Clay Guida?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like sometimes, you know, I know, Dan, sometimes you just throw some shit out there.
You told me off. You just told me stop. They said chill on the Twitter. That's when, because obviously like Eugen Ash like managed me now, like before I just do it myself. And they said chill on the Twitter, because I was like I was like barely back at training. I just like had some holiday, barely back at training, and then I told RDA I was gonna smash his face in, and they were like, bro, you're not even training, bro. Why are you going calling out RDA and telling me you're gonna smash his face? You're not even training. You're on holiday. You're on your couch, and you're gonna tell RDA you're gonna smash his face in. He said, chill on Twitter. They said, chill on Twitter. I was like, it's hard for me. You just got to tell me who you want me to fight. And trust me, I can you just tell me who you want me to fight. I can fight this guy. Trust me. Any fight.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of the fans said. They love you because of that reason. You know what I mean? It's because you will fight anybody and under fucking crazy circumstances. But that's a whole fucking 5-hour podcast of circumstances, right? From the past pandemic
we'll
years.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, one day, you know, I think it's always good to have some percentage of mystery, you know, mysteriousness about you. And not have everything out there, you know, because nowadays you got fucking people that are not even famous. They put their whole life online. And it's like, you know what? A fucked up story. My sister, she used to be one of those people to put their whole fucking life online. Oh, I'm at fucking Starbucks getting a fucking Frappuccino. Boom. Like, you know where they are, like from their social media. She goes to Jamaica. Her house gets robbed. Lesson learned. Don't put your whole life on social media.
Preach.
She went to Jamaica for vacation.
I don't put. It's funny. Like I will do things like in delayed time. You know what I mean? Like you just take like when you're out doing stuff, like you just take pictures. That doesn't mean I post it up as I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even there anymore. But I'll just be like somewhere else. Like you're like, oh, you're at your magic. No, I'm at my house. You know what I mean? Like you think I'm still on holiday because you watch my social media. You think you know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing. You gotta keep them guessing. Because you come rob my house and you think I'm not here. I'm here. I'm here, brother. I'm here. I'll get you. I'm hiding under the bin.
He's waiting for you.
I'm gonna get you.
He's waiting for that scrap. Just, you know, do you guys got those laws in New Zealand? If someone enters your property, like it's on and cracking, like you do what you want to do. There's some shit laws. All right.
Shit.
Better be careful with that.
Like if he breaks into your house and like your dog bites him, they'll put your dog down.
That's bullshit.
We're shit. Yeah. Shit.
I like the American ones. Yeah, America's better.
Door, America's you step foot on my property and I kill you. Legal.
Yeah. It's legal. That's why everybody has a shotgun in their house.
Yeah.
Because there's weight to blast somebody.
Don't knock 3 times. You knock twice and you leave. That's it.
You leave if you don't want to get a shot. But what is it?
2 knocks and take
over
a
here.
walk.
Somebody like in Korea, somebody robbed somebody, but the dude came home when he was in the house robbing them. He walked inside, beat the shit out of the dude, called the police. Guess which one is in jail?
Yeah, bullshit.
The dude that beat the shit out of the burglar. because he
Bullshit.
beat his ass like really bad, and just like
Don't fucking
can't fight.
rob my house. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Had enough of it.
Yeah, I always love it when people rob the wrong place and they get fucked up. Those are the videos I enjoy. Just you fucked up. Just just realize that shit. But yeah, man. Next week we'll be back, man. You're after your teammates compete, and we'll discuss all of that good stuff. Pay-per-view. So probably be a little bit later in the day compared to today.
I'm going to be very drunk next weekend. I tell you this now.
I love
as
it.
a warning.
I love it.
I stress drink. I stress drink.
Hey, we've been waiting for Six Pack Dan. You know what I mean? We've been waiting for Six Pack Dan to show up on the show eventually, and I knew it was going to come.
Coach manager said, "Chill on the Twitter, my guy." So I gotta stay off Twitter after I drink some beers. You know what I mean? But hey, we might break them out next week. You don't know. I was gonna start a drinking game. Do a shot every time Arman looks at the clock. It'll be wasted. My guy's like this.
That must be a crazy
looking, brother. You know the time.
Crazy distraction. Yeah, crazy distraction right there. But yeah, everybody enjoyed. You guys being here. We'll be back next week. Dan, any final words for the people? He's not fighting Clay Guida. Just
see ya. But I would.